No, no! No! Are you listening?
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about the Nashville maniac, the TCAP pedo legend, the master of the trailer of failure, and the most pathetic human being that we all love to listen to and we all love to watch and feel better about ourselves when we're having a bad day. Well, he's not all fun and games. In fact, sometimes he's, as you know, I use the word, terrifying. And we're going to talk about a few of those examples. And I hope you agree with me, because I know there are so many things you could talk about him. But there are a couple points that really highlight my theory that if a 13 to 19-year-old girl, well, maybe not 19 because she might be able to kick his ass, but 13 to, say, 17, 18-year-old girl happened to wander down his road because a car broke down or because her friend needed help, and she showed up at his trailer, knocked on his door, Lorne's eyes would bug out of his head, and he would do anything in his power to get her inside. Some of you may say, oh, Lorne wouldn't do that. He doesn't have the guts. I beg to differ. This virgin, this raging virgin, who has done so many things in his past to exhibit dangerous behavior, I believe Lorne would feel she owes him something, or that they are together, because in his head he instantly makes a connection. And I know on his call center he called these women, and if he talked to them for more than 5 minutes, they were headed towards a relationship, because he's pathetic, obsessive, compulsive, possessive, and scary. But let's talk about number one, and I think that would be the fact that he laughed at Jamie Amy and made a giant joke out of her sexual assault. She was at a hotel, I think, and I don't remember, something. She was in a position where somebody could put their hands where it didn't belong. Now, Lorne was laughing. This was during the Psycho saga, I believe, where he's lecturing her about money. This guy who lives in a dilapidated trailer is lecturing her about money. And she's getting angry, she's getting frustrated, but Lorne doesn't seem to care. And she talks about a sexual assault, and Lorne's more concerned if Winnie was banging anybody else, and he won't let it go. And Lorne begins to joke and laugh, and he's like, whoa, go around and check. I think it's, go around and check everybody's finger. Let them put their fingers inside you. I'm sorry, Jamie. I'm sorry I'm being such a smart ass. And Dan is laughing. But looking back, I think why Dan was laughing, the guy who played him was laughing, Sam Pinto, I don't know his name, but the reason he was laughing is because he wanted to see if Lorne really thought that sexual assault was funny. And he did. Come on, man. Tell me again why he wouldn't try to force himself on some girl if he thought there was some connection, or they were headed to a relationship. He also spoke to Debbie at one point about Winnie and domestic abuse. She said there would definitely be domestic abuse, and I agree. Shut the fuck up about fucking Dan! And the mic explodes on his little Bluetooth headset, and the dogs probably ran 3 miles out of fear. Lorne is all scream, all yell, all bluster. Do I think he's really capable of domestic abuse? Well, let me tell you why I do. You've heard him throw things, that's great. You've heard the way he talks to Roy, about how he talks to pushing Parma down, and he's called women some of the worst names in the whole world. I think he would believe that Winnie was cheating on him with any man, including Roy, and I think she would become a prisoner. And Debbie confirmed that when she said, Lorne, what would happen if she tried to leave, the house? And Lorne said, well, and he thought he was being noble, well, I wouldn't let her leave if I knew it was something, harmful. Well, in his mind, and if you disagree, so be it, he would believe that leaving him was harmful. She didn't really want to do it, Because if you remember, Lorne has said in the past, she didn't really want to leave me. Or she isn't really angry with me. And he tells people what he believes is the truth, and it becomes the truth. He said he would keep Winnie in the house if she was going out to do something harmful. And we know what that means. She would never leave. He would never let her leave, because he truly believes in his head that they were destined to be together, just like every other woman. I've never met a woman like you. I believe in you. All that crap he says. Winnie wouldn't be able to leave. No way. In another instance, this was horrifying. I use that word so much with this guy. The Debbie incident, where she tells him no for hours, and he refuses to accept it. I'm going to say that again. She tells him no, and that she doesn't like him, and that there's nothing between them, and he doesn't accept it, and said, there is. Don't tell me there's not some... Okay, when you tell somebody, don't tell me, you've already made up your mind, and you're going to speak whatever it is into reality. Lorne said something else that was scary. He said, I can tell you're attracted to me. I can hear it in your voice. Now we know why Paula and those potential women at the call center and any other woman who said paper or plastic, why they would be potential stalking victims. I mean, for God's sake, man, I would never tell a woman that says she's straight up, she has no interest in me, tells me I'm ugly, makes fun of me, and laugh and go, and then tell her, I know you're attracted to me, I can hear it in your voice. And he says, you said all those mean things to me because you wanted to get my attention. Holy shit, folks. He's mortifying. I hate this guy so much because he is so dangerous. You don't tell a woman that what you're telling me is a lie. Debbie, you're lying your ass off. What about all those times when you were in the hospital, drugged up, clinging to life, and I'm over here having phone sex with you? A normal person wouldn't ever do that. Come on, man. But being told no, being told the truth, and he's telling them you're lying and that you really like me. And finally, you know what I'm going to bring up. If you know Lorne Armstrong, you know what I'm going to bring up. And her name is Rhoda. There are so many calls out there in Lorneography that these might be calls that you missed. You might have heard the funeral that was ridiculous with hamster dance and... Oh, Jesus Christ, man. And Lorne believed it all, Mr. 87. But Winnie, the woman he loved, the first chance he got with a young girl, Rhoda could have been 17. I assure you. 16. I don't know if he would have gone any younger than 17 or 16. But he began grooming Rhoda and telling her she was going to move up there and that they were going to live together. She had to keep it a secret. She couldn't tell anybody. And then later on, because we all know Lorne never meant to do it. He never meant to go there. Yes, you did, Lorne. And I was going to save this for another video, and I may do a whole video on it. But Lorne, you never meant to go there in your head. What that's called is a conscience. You knew it was wrong, but you went there anyway. You ignored that part of your conscience that was telling you, hey man, don't go. We have seen this in criminals time and time again. Some of the people I see, some of the people that talk to me and they want to have sessions, this is something they deal with. And I've heard I didn't want to do it, and we've identified that it was his conscience that said he didn't want to do it. You know, don't do it. And he didn't listen to it. So now he goes back on the other side of that discussion he had with himself and says, I never meant to do it. I think Lorne would groom a broomstick if it had a vagina and boobs. And Rhoda was proof of that. Don't tell your mom. I mean, it was getting to the point of delete your archives. Ugh. He's so scary. And he exhibits all of the behavior of a perennial, eternal groomer. If you don't believe me, go back and listen to those Rhoda calls. It'll reaffirm everything. And then he tells them later, oh, well, because this is his reasoning. Well, the reason I did it was to protect her, to get her away from somebody. If I remember, I haven't listened to those calls in a while, but I do remember how disgusted I felt. And I can't imagine, because I believe Rhoda was voiced by the same person that voiced Winnie, and I can't imagine what they were thinking. Like, this guy is so gross. I'm truly disappointed they didn't go 16 with Rhoda, calling him daddy and everything else, because I think he would have done it. And I think as an experiment, if they took an 18-year-old actress and sent her down his road, like I said, an 18-year-old actress with surveillance, sent her down his road, had her go to his trailer, tell him she's 16, and watch this man go into grooming mode immediately. He would panic because he knew he didn't have enough time to properly groom her. But that's Lorne, and I believe it. He will always be a groomer. He will never understand sexual assault. He will never understand that he really meant to do it, no matter what he said, because there's always a but. Right as it gets to the point where you think, okay, finally, this guy's going to admit it. He had multiple victims. And he just goes back to, I know how to say no now. You know, I've heard people who got arrested for theft or drugs. I've heard them tell me that my family pushed me to drugs, or so-and-so pushed me to drugs, or this situation pushed me to crime, or I lost my job because my boss was a dick and I had no other way to make it than to steal a large screen TV, a stereo, and a bunch of other stuff I didn't need. Not food, not clothes, but that. But anyway, that's what scares me about this dude, and those are my thoughts. If you guys like to listen to me ramble, I really appreciate it. If you guys also believe he's a dangerous groomer, and he's dangerous because he doesn't understand what sexual assault is, I can't imagine anyone wouldn't. But let me know in the comments. And I apologize, I haven't been able to get to the comments. I've been in massive pain. I told you guys that I could barely walk. It hurts on my hip and my knee, and on the other, I can't feel the inside of my left leg. It's bad. But I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Please like, subscribe, and share. I hope to be on Cornville 3 Ways stream in the future. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.